There were so many clues along the way that everyone, including myself, seemed to miss.
Not long ago, I'm sitting at home watching the Showtime program,
Masters of Sex, which is set in the late 1960s.
This character, Barbara, comes on. She approaches Masters and Johnson because of an embarrassing problem.
Her husband has just left her because she is physically incapable of having sex. Apparently things are not normal down there.
She is somehow closed.
It turns out she's a survivor of childhood sex abuse. And wow, this condition is an actual thing.
You mean I'm not a freak?
I immediately start Googling. It has a name. Vaginismus. An involuntary response.
Like a sneeze.
The brain and the body working in tandem.
The mind says,
You will never hurt me again!
And the body complies, contracting the pelvic muscles until
it becomes impossible to...
No one can hurt me anymore.
Memory. It's 1979, and I've just been shamed into my first gynecological visit by my coworkers.
I'm 22 years old, and I don't know why I am so terrified.
I remember lying on the table, clutching the sheet that covered me, and feeling so vulnerable. Suddenly, the door opens, and the doctor, who seems very large to me, maybe he seems just large because I feel so small.
I'm scared.
He swoops into the room in his long white lab coat, exhaling a trail of smoke before snuffing out his cigarette.
His name was Dr. Finger. Yeah, I should have known it wasn't going to go well.
He barely looks at me, and before he places himself at the foot of the table, he puts his gloves on and dives into the exam. I steel myself for what I am not sure when suddenly I hear him say,
Oh, no.
Oh, no? What does this mean? But there's no time to ask before he announces,
I'm going to do you a favor.
This is immediately followed by a blinding pain.
Oh, it hurts! It hurts! It hurts! Down there!
I don't remember anything after that.
Vaginismus. That is not uncommon, I read.
So how ridiculous is it that I should be learning something so important about myself from a freaking television program?
30 years later.
Well, thank God for the information age, having already lived through the stone silence age. Now I am like a sponge. I discover something called psychogenic seizures, which I read can be misdiagnosed as epilepsy.
In young women, mostly.
Who are survivors of childhood sex abuse.
Turns out trauma can impact the right temporal lobe.
What?
The right temporal lobe, can you believe it? We were diagnosed with temporal lobe epilepsy. Then I read that migraines in children,
Especially those where the limbs go numb.
can be manifestations of PTSD when there has been a history of
Childhood sex abuse.
And
now this.
I'm 54 years old, and
Nobody ever told me anything.
so little was known back then, I suppose. But now I'm thinking,
What else is there that I don't know?
That I might never know.
And
why are we still not talking about it?
I remember the doctor leaving the room,
Closing the door behind him.
muttering something about warm baths and dilation tools.
I didn't understand.
nobody told me.
Oh, it hurts.
I never went